Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. I'm also from Harmony on High Street in Campbelltown, Tasmania. So welcome to my video today. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 13th of January and the time is 8:58 a.m. So I trust this video finds you well. I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. Also those of you who are supporting my work in our new gallery and art hub, Harmony on High Street. If you are in Tasmania this year, please think about stopping in and saying hello and seeing what is available at our new gallery, which is very exciting. So, if you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my Oracle cards. I'm using my Speed of Light Oracle combined with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. So there are 110 cards combined here, and I'll be using this combined deck to find the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I do trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that Something Shared supports you at this time. I recommend that you take on board what does feel right and what does resonate and what does fit into your life easily, and let the rest go. So let's see what happens, and let's allow ourselves to be surprised. Good morning, Emily, and Pamela is here as well. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's get started. So our theme for last week was the echidna, and the echidna reminded us to not dwell on the details, especially on the unnecessary details. So really thinking about or being aware of what we were dwelling on, what we were giving our attention to that wasn't really the best use of our attention or use of our focus. So focusing on the things that other people might be thinking or saying or doing, or thinking and focusing on things that aren't really relevant in the scope and scheme of our life. So that was our theme. I'm very interested to see what the week looks like potentially from the cards perspective for the week that's coming up. Now, as I mentioned last week, I'm not pulling cards every single day. I'm not doing day by day, and I know that upsets some people, a few people by the sound of it. So most of you, I think, trust me in the way that I work the cards. Maybe you've been connecting for a while, and I don't take your trust in me lightly, so I really appreciate that, and thank you very much. But I'm not pulling cards for every day of the week. There's no need to. The timing of the cards and going right Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in a very regimental way is not the way I tend to do the cards. It's like if I was doing, say, a 6-month reading for you, am I then expected to pull a card for every day for those 6 months? No. So it's not necessary to pull a card for every day. Now, if it's something that worries you and you need to have a card for every day, then I suggest you get your cards out and pull some cards for your everyday, if that's what you need to do. But you won't find me doing it here. I used to do it some years ago, and there's a reason why I haven't, it's not still happening, because I don't like that regimented way. I really want to trust my intuition, let the cards group up and be what they need to be. Plus, I don't want the weight to be on the day. The weight and the most valuable of the information that I'm sharing with you is the information. It's not the day. So if we are thinking that this is exactly 24 hours on this specific day, it might not be. So the timing side of things that I'm talking about, so especially in this regard, which is the week, It's very loose. It's a very loose kind of idea. The most important, valuable side of this guidance, in my view, is the guidance. And if we're confusing that by the timing, then we're not getting the core of the message here, which is the information that's the most important, not the day. So I just want to clarify that before I pull the cards. So I'm now shuffling the cards, or I'm continuing to shuffle, and I'm asking the cards to show the majority of us what do we need to know for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 13th through till Sunday the 19th of January. And the best cards that the majority of us need are these. So I'm going to lay them face down here, and I'm just trusting my intuition, and I'm just laying them down as my intuition likes. So we have 6 cards out, 4 Speed of Light Oracle, 2 Animal Kingdom Oracle, and I'm just going to turn one over at a time. So we're looking at Monday. So around Monday the 13th of January, we have a Speed of Light Oracle card, and it's the butterfly, and this is a really nice start to the week. It's card 6, and it says heart opening, freedom, passion and action. This is a great card. It's uplifting, it's dreamy, it's heart focused as well, so there's a sense of returning to the heart. But also, as we return to the heart, there's an opening of the heart. There's a dreamy element here. So heart energy can tend to be grounding, but it's not always grounding when we return to the heart. It depends how much we're moving into our body. So is it heart? Is it love? You know, the feeling of love can actually be quite ungrounding. But if we're connecting with our heart, and we're, say, drawing and working with our breath in our body and feeling our heart expand in our actual body, then there's quite a grounding element to that. So this card generally doesn't tend to highlight grounding energy. It's not very physical. Well, no, that's not probably quite the right word. It's not necessarily practical in nature, this particular card. It's more dreamy. So we might find around Monday that we're probably off on some dreamy tangent, maybe in fantasy land a little bit, maybe fantasy land with our heart or with love, and feeling ideas or visions or a dreamy energy trailing off in love. Love for another person, love for things, love for whatever it is that's loving for us. And in many ways, even though this feels ungrounding, it does feel like I can feel as I connect with this energy, like it does seem to be, it's almost like holding a kite, and we're holding the tail of the kite in our body while the kite's off flying off in the sky. And it can only go as far as the length of the string, but it feels like there's an uplifting feeling that's wanting to pull us a little bit maybe off the ground. But if we can keep our feet planted on the ground, keep hold of this string of the kite or the string of the balloon, then we should stay fairly nice and grounded, even though we're off maybe in dreamland a bit. There is a bit of a action energy to this card, so some of us might feel quite uplifted and motivated and maybe ready to, or thinking about how we can implement our ideas. Are these dreams and visions we're having, are they worth applying in our life? Some of them might just sort of float away, and others of them we may want to kind of grasp on and bring practically into our life, but it might not be something we do Monday, but maybe something we're thinking about with these ideas. What ideas are worth pursuing and what ideas are worth letting go? And a lot of the ideas we have mostly are going to be we want to let them go. Not every idea is worth pursuing, but every idea is worth at least considering. So we can then determine what are the ideas, or what is the idea that we want to then take to the next level, if that's where we're at. So a nice uplifting, open energy to start, and dreamy energy to start the week. Okay, let's go to Tuesday. We're going to actually do Tuesday, Wednesday here, 14th, 15th of January. And we have another Speed of Light Oracle. We have the Shaman. So the Shaman is a featured card. It has further instructions here which say to fan out the deck and choose another card. So I go back to my deck. I'm just going to fan them out. And I'm not really going to think about it, overly think about it. I'm just going to where I want to go, which is this card, Animal Kingdom. And we have the kangaroo. The kangaroo with the shaman. So this is especially for around Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to look at these cards separately first, and then we'll look at their relationship together. This is card 17, and it says solitude, grounding, mending, privacy, and reassess. Hi, everyone. Reassess. So we went through this sort of as we transitioned into the new year. We did get this card up, I think, as a theme actually around that time period. So there is this period, especially around Tuesday, Wednesday, of assessing our life. We might be assessing the new ideas that we've been that have been brewing and that we've been sitting on. We might be assessing where we are in life. We might be getting out of holiday mode, perhaps, or summer mode for some of us in the southern hemisphere, maybe out of winter mode if you're in the north, but we might be finding that we're getting out of sort of this holiday mode or this transitional mode that we've been in, which tends to be between Christmas and New Year, and that sort of afterflow. I know here in Australia at least it is like the holiday period, school holidays, people tend to have breaks from work, so there is this transitional period, and I feel like as we're moving now into the nitty-gritty of 2025, where we're now walking on the ground, we're getting back into the routine of our life. We might be preparing to take the kids back to school or get back into work or this sort of thing. As we're doing that, we might be finding that we, especially around Tuesday and Wednesday, to spend some time reflecting, assessing where we are in our life. Now, this tends to be threefold when I'm connecting in this way, so maybe that's similar for you, maybe it's different, but for me, when I tend to be in this mode with this card and I'm assessing my life, I'm looking at the past, present, and the future. So I tend to look at what's led me to here, how I feel now, and then where is this potentially taking me forward into my future. So this, when I'm assessing my life, that's the type of perspective I like to look at it from, is from the past, present, and future. There's a solitude feeling with this card, and we might feel a little withdrawn, or maybe quite withdrawn, where we just want to be in our private sort of space. We might feel like we're retreating into sort of a cave energy, perhaps for healing, perhaps for recovery, and perhaps to assess our life and where we're at now. Now we've moved out of that transitional period. Now we're getting our feet on the ground. So where are we wanting to take things in our life moving forward? So that's the shaman. And then we have the kangaroo. So the kangaroo is card 10, and it says to leap over the obstacle. So if there's an obstacle in our way, something that might feel like a brick wall or a rock or a boulder on our path at this time, we're being encouraged through the kangaroo's energy to look at a way to leap over it. Maybe the obstacle's not as big and not as not going to stop us as much as what we think. So sometimes we think the obstacles are bigger than what they really are. And it could be a perspective thing where our mind is maybe thinking the worst, or maybe feels overwhelmed, or maybe thinking more on the pessimistic, negative side rather than the optimistic, more hopeful side. So sometimes that little molehill can feel like a mountain, and it's just something we can't get past. But the kangaroo's showing us that maybe we can get past this. Maybe it's not as big and as daunting and as, here comes that word again, where I just, where it paralyzes us when we just can't get past it. Maybe it's not as big and as paralyzing as we think. So maybe something to think about. It might also be helpful for us, especially around Tuesday, Wednesday, to reflect on the obstacle. So if you're really finding yourself stuck and you can't get past this certain thing, And maybe you've tried different ways, maybe you've tried different angles of approaching this and you still can't quite get past this obstacle, then maybe some time in reflection to reflect on the obstacle. What is it? When did it start? Why does it feel so large and looming? Is this the reality of this obstacle? Can you look at this obstacle from another viewpoint or another side and see the reality of it rather than what you're perceiving of it? And these sorts of assessments of the obstacle may be really helpful in helping us realize that we can find a way over or through or around or past this particular obstacle. This thing that we deem as an obstacle could be fear. So what do you deem as an obstacle? And this might be more apparent for you over Tuesday, Wednesday. But what is your obstacle? What is your biggest obstacle now? Is it finances? Okay, what can you do about it? Is there something you can do to tighten up your budget, to reduce your spendings, to save towards whatever it is that you need for your financial freedom or moving towards that? So what is your obstacle? What's your biggest obstacle and how is it stopping you? What can you do to overcome that? So it's kind of like a problem solving and obstacle solving is the feeling here with these cards. So some quiet time to reflect and contemplate may be helpful to really assess the scope and the actuality of this obstacle. Okay, let's move to Thursday, the 16th of January, an Animal Kingdom Oracle, and we have the Raven. The Raven is card 17 for the 16th, and it says face your shadow with honesty. So this is about facing our fear. This is about finding courage to face our fear, to face those limitations, perhaps to face the obstacle that we are dealing with in our life. This is looking at it honestly. So it suggests that maybe we weren't seeing it clearly or how it truly is from a factual perspective, from a reality perspective earlier. So some assessment time might reveal to us the truth that maybe we were making things worse than they are. Maybe things aren't as paralyzing. I don't know why I seem to go back to that word today, but it feels like fear. You know, like fear is paralyzing. Fear can be paralyzing, especially if it's louder than our courage, which is why I like to try and increase my courage when I feel fear, so that my courage becomes a louder voice than the fear. Then the fear isn't paralyzing because my courage, my voice and the pull of my courage is stronger. So fear can be paralyzing, but we can also use or work with the fear to build our courage to move forward through that fear and see what's on the other side. So there is an honesty about this card, and it is about facing the dark parts within us. And in this case, I feel quite specifically, it is likely connected with fear. So what are you afraid of? What are you scared of? What are you fearful of? And where is this stopping you? How is fear your obstacle? Is it a fear of loss? Is it a fear of the unknown? Is it a fear of failing? Is it a fear of succeeding? Is it a fear that you're not capable of doing what you are about to do? So what is the underlying fear here, and how can you face this honestly? So this seems to be overflowing Tuesday, Wednesday and into Thursday, as we're reminded to look at our shadow side as honestly as we can. So now we move to Friday. This is the 17th, and we have the 217 cards already out. So we've got Animal Kingdom Oracle card, and we have Lunar Cycle. For Friday, it's a featured timing card, so it has further instructions here which say to take the second card from the top of the deck. So I'm going down to card 2, the Animal Kingdom Oracle, and we have the Sea Dragon. So again, these have come up together for a reason. We're looking at the lunar cycle. So this is card 53, and it talks about a 1 month cycle. So in other words, 28 days, sort of like the cycle of the moon. If we've got some significant moon cycle happening around Friday, then this brings extra energy to this. I'm not sure where the moon's at right now. So this is a 1 month cycle. We're looking at around the 17th of January to around the 17th of February. So this whole month is in highlight, and it's in highlight for some reason on Friday. We might be looking at the next few weeks ahead. We might be looking at the next month or so. So throughout January and into February, maybe even into March. And it's connected with this card, card 18. Which is pretty funny. It's the Sea Dragon, and it says, be gentle with yourself. So there is a gentleness that's coming in with this card. And I sort of love this energy because with the intensity, especially that's come up for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, this intensity of obstacle, of potential fear, of something that's holding us back or stopping us, this is a very intense energy. So it's very intense. It's very strong energy, but I think intense is probably a good word to use. And a counter to that intensity is like a gentleness. So we might find that we come out the other side of this sort of fear, obstacle energy, whether you're doing it according to my days here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you might go through it quicker. You might go through it a little longer, and it might be, say, next week when you're moving through this. But on the other side of this is a gentleness. It's like having a storm that, say, hovers and sits around for a while, and then when it moves on, it tends to be or can be calm and sort of like this fresh energy because there's maybe a fresh dump of rain. Maybe the sun's come out on the next day after a period of not seeing the sun for a little while, and there's something fresh, but there's also something very gentle about this energy as the intensity passes and the gentleness is what remains or what follows through afterwards. So we might find a gentleness that some of us move into. We might feel a bit sensitive, fragile. We might even want to be a bit camouflaged, like we might want to blend in. We might not really want to stand out after we move through this. It's just sort of the aftermath. And let's see how we go, and let's see how we feel with this. There is also a flow with this. There's a phase kind of cyclic feeling too with the lunar cycle, that we might find this is a cycle or a phase that we're also going through. So let's see how we go. So Saturday, the 18th of January, we have Speed of Light Oracle cards. The support card, card 35. It says comfort, loved ones, and reassurance. This would only come up if we were feeling lack of support and lack of comfort in some way. So we might be feeling unsupported. We might be feeling alone. We might find that it's helpful for us to reassure ourselves that everything's going to be okay. This suggests that that fragility, that gentleness, that sensitivity of the Sea Dragon may continue on with this sort of need for support. So our loved ones in spirit are also coming close around us and reminding us that they're close by and that they love us very much, and that everything is going to be okay. So think about how you can reassure yourself if you're feeling quite low at periods this week, and you don't need to wait till Saturday. This is a really good message actually for through the week, especially from Tuesday onwards, is to look at how we can reassure ourselves. Can we prompt ourselves with some reassuring affirmation or message, like it's going to be okay, I'm going to get through this, I am getting through this. Just some little sentence that, a supportive sentence, some supportive reassurance that we can offer ourselves as we move through the difficulties that may show up this particular week. I don't think it's going to be a breeze of a week. It feels like there are probably going to be some tests and challenges. Now, Sunday the 19th of January, we've got a Speed of Light Oracle, and this is nice. So this is a nice sort of flank to the week. We've got the butterfly at the beginning, and we've got expanded love here at the end of the week. So even though we're probably going to be tested and challenged throughout the week itself, it feels like on either side, like flanking, like pillars, like bookends, there's nice energy on either side. So it's not always going to be testy and challenging for us. This is card 24, Expanded Love, and it says productivity, teamwork, and holding space. This is working together with others. This is coming together for a common purpose or a common goal, a common interest. It usually comes when we're working with other people. So if around the weekend or towards the end of the weekend you're working together with others, you're meeting up with other people, this is a really good sign. So things coming together, a great sense of teamwork, getting some things progressed with that are better when we have two or more heads together to make progress on this plan or this goal or whatever it might be. There is a productive feeling here too, especially for later in the weekend. So we might feel quite productive, like we're able to achieve and get some tasks done, get some things complete, maybe tie up some loose ends, or maybe start implementing some of these ideas or this idea that we're sort of playing with earlier in the week. So that's a really nice loving energy to finish this reading. So that's that. I am going to pull a theme card in just a moment. Before I do though, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, you can send us a message through our website. I've got quite a few events coming up this week. In fact, I've got 9, although I did do one yesterday, so I've got 8 more to go. 2 of them are online. So we've got our online card reading club. If you'd like to explore your cards, it doesn't have to be mine, it can be any deck. If you want to explore and use your oracle cards or your tarot cards, any of your cards, at a deeper level, then I recommend having a look at my online card reading club. It happens once a month, and it's happening this Thursday, the 16th of January. And we're looking at sacrifice. So it's going to be quite deep and interesting. So you're very welcome to join me for that. You can find details on my website to register and receive the link. It's happening on Zoom. And also, this is the same week that I'm doing my monthly online art class. And we're looking at Birthing 2025 series. And we're up to the second session of 4. And this is about new beginnings. Now, you don't have to be artistic or creative, or just a willingness to participate and have a go. And I find actually the conversations in these online art classes are pretty special. So we explore our theme from all sorts of angles, from all different perspectives, and then we go into an expressive time where we're expressing what we're feeling around the subject or the theme. You can use any material you want, and that's also on Zoom. So that's coming up this Friday, the 17th of January. If you'd like to learn more about those, please have a look on my website. If you'd like to learn more about my cards or the work I do here at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. If you're in Tasmania, I do have some events coming up this week. Clay, pastels, and my regular art and craft group. So have a look on Harmony on High Street on Facebook if you are in Tasmania. All right, let's grab the best theme card. The theme card will help bring this whole week together and help us see the bigger picture for this week, starting 13th till the 19th of January. So this is exciting. So we've got quite the mix here. The best theme card is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And we have the Emperor Moth, card 14. It says to put things into order. So this is an opportunity this week to get things lined up, to get things ordered, to tie up loose ends, to get that stack of paperwork sorted out, to face our fear. It's like this opportunity to put things into order and get things lined up now, instead of putting things off. So we tend to put our paperwork pile off. We tend to put maybe certain things that we don't really like to do off, but they sort of hover until we get them done. So what have you been putting off? Now for you it may be, especially just based on the cards that have come up, maybe you've been putting off looking at the obstacle, so looking at the elephant in the room in your life. Maybe it's something like your finances or your health. Maybe it could be something like your relationship or your living situation or your workplace. So what is the elephant in the room? What is the obstacle that you've been that's been at the back of your mind, but you sort of maybe don't want to admit that it's a problem? That might be part of what wants to be dealt with this week. It could also be connected with a fear of loss, a fear of things collapsing, a fear of endings. I don't know what the fear is, but there's probably a fear connected here too. So this card's showing us, look, we're better off just to confront this, to face it and get this into order as soon as possible and stop putting it off. So this is not the week to put things off. This is the week to put things into order and get things into their place, to sort out those niggly things or the big things, the elephant in the room that has been driving us crazy perhaps for a little while. What do we need to do around this? Now, because based on the cards that have already come up, it might be something we want to privately think about and consider first before we rush through and be hasty and make hasty changes. The cards are really showing that some time reflecting and some time contemplating this seriously are probably going to be helpful to begin with before we apply and actually put the order into place or do what needs to be done. So let's make use of our time of contemplation. Let's not keep putting things off. Let's get things ordered. Let's get things together. Let's get ends tied up so that we can free up our energy to be able to move really into this expanded love feeling, where the obstacles and the barriers, the baggage that we've been carrying, where we've sort of offloaded that in some ways. And I feel actually, as I reflect on this week and the potential of it, it does feel like there's a lot of potential for dropping baggage this week. Dropping baggage, dropping obstacles, dropping fear, and dropping the things that have been weighing us down. So that's a great opportunity. And really, we can confront the challenges and the difficulties of this week to be able to come out the other side lighter and more burden-free than as we're entering this week. So let's get things into order. A great time to sort out paperwork and things like that too. So thanks very much for connecting. Have a great week. And I look forward to connecting with you again for our card reading club or online art class. And if not, maybe next week for our weekly guidance. Thanks very much. Namaste. Bye.